I'll introduce Mario. Is a Chilean socialist. He lives in the UK at the moment, but someone who was active in Chile during the Allende years and during the coup as well. So,
I speak here, yeah?
Yeah.
Comrades, let me begin by using this word that perhaps for you is going to be very strong and say this man is going over the top. But I could describe the Chilean situation as an insurrection to the capitalist state in Chile. Let me tell you how this insurrection is taking place as I speak now. Yesterday in Santiago, the capital city of Chile, there were more than 1 million citizens in the city center. That is to say, the repressive army couldn't stop this massive wave of citizens that they came out since 6 days ago. In Valparaíso, which is the main port of Chile, according to reports, and here I have to be careful because we have to verify that, according to reports from Chilean inside the city, is telling us that certain part of the city is controlled by the social movement. That is to say, the repressive apparatus have withdrawn in certain part of the city. And on Tuesday, 6 trade union federation had a meeting in Santiago, and one of the sort of delegates, it was the copper miner sort of delegation, a very powerful union, and they have declared that all its members should participate in the social movement without any exception. And plus, here I have to be careful because we have to verify this kind of information. They have called for an indefinite strike in Chile. So that is the reason I use the word insurrection, because in reality it is an insurrection. The great majority of the citizens in Chile has rose up. This is not just an epicenter of resistance in the capital city. It is up and down the country. This is an amazing situation going on. How the ruling class responded to this extremely dangerous situation? Well, as usual, in order to protect neoliberalism, in order to protect the powerful and rich, the President Piñera, who is a very wealthy, powerful man, sent the tanks and the military in order to defend those privileges. But the people had enough. Let me tell you, because a lot of people, they ask me, how on earth eventually there is this uprising in your country, and this uprising is the 99% of the population. Let me tell you that Chile was the first experiment about neoliberalism. The dictatorship broke the working class, its organization, and impose this very crude machinery of exploitation. So more than 40 years, the Chilean working class and all the oppressed in capitalist society, they have been suffering this extreme method of exploitation. There are certain situations that is completely unbelievable. A pensioner, those people who worked all their life, they receive no more than 48 pounds per month. And I saw a video where pensioners, in order to live, they have to go to the bins and eat food. The astronomical prices of the cost of living, water, electricity, rent, and food, astronomical. People, they are in debt. And there is a various circle of debt in the population. So there was this very, very deep anger going on underneath of the Chilean society. By the way, this anger, it isn't just in Chile. The recipe of neoliberalism and austerity is applying every single part of the world. To tell you the truth, I was watching a video from Argentina. The ruling class in Argentina, and I'm sure in other countries, they are very worried. They are really, really worried because this uprising is televised live to Latin America. And therefore, I think they're rightly to be worried because it's exactly the same recipe in Argentina and in all countries of the world. That is the reason we're very, very happy that people in Lebanon, they rose up. People in the capital city of Ecuador, Quito, rose up. So I think we're entering a period where neoliberalism has I don't know what is the word I'm going to use. Not only super exploitation. If you go to Chile, it is called the miracle of Latin America. You go to Santiago and you see these wonderful buildings, wonderful shops, the latest car, the latest television, the latest phone. And they did that at the back of a super exploitation of the Chilean working class. But now, everything it is in the open. There was a mask in Chile that everything was hunky-dory. I'm not sure whether that's the correct terminology that I can use. Because I'm a foreigner, you have to forgive me. Everything was hunky-dory, everyone was happy, and now we can see exactly what's going on. Another thing that I would like to point out, this social movement, it doesn't have a political leadership. You know why? Because in Chile, either reactionary element like Piñera, or the so-called socialist like Bachelet, when they were in power, they imposed exactly the same neoliberal agenda. And therefore, I could say, without any exaggeration, that the mass movement doesn't have a political leadership because the majority of the people hate them. They really hate them because of corruption, the privilege that they do hold as a senator, as representative of the people. And
5 minutes.
5 minutes?
Sorry.
So, what is really the solution? The solution is absolutely clear. I read a communique from the Docker of Valparaiso, where they point, the next course against neoliberalism. They're demanding stop the militarization of the country, persecute those criminals who have killed about 16 or 17 people and imprisoned about 2,000 or 3,000 people. Reverse, and this is really important, reverse neoliberalism. We don't want any more neoliberalism. The only organization capable to be honest and lead this movement are the trade union movement. But there is something really important missing here. In every single battle of our class, we have to have a party. Unfortunately, the social movement doesn't have a party where they put on the agenda, the state, who controls the state. Finally, I'm going to say, the Chilean working class has a very fresh memory, living fresh memory. In 1972, it was the highest level of the class struggle. And the most militant sector of the working class, they created the so-called industrial belt. Very simple. They kicked out the bosses and collectively they owned, a factory or a workplaces. The worker, they didn't say, all right, this computer is mine, this machinery is mine. Impossible. So it was a collective ownership of the means of production. And that is the memory, which is still alive in my country, that it could help to solve this extremely exciting time and also very dangerous time. I'm going to finish with this one. I saw in YouTube a very, very brave militant woman, and the reporter say, how can the world help you? And she said with textually, you can help us when you take on your own bosses and began a complete revolution. We're fed up. No more of this oppression. No more of this subjugation. So I could say, long live, the situation in Chile.